So we're exploring the upper Florida Keys in this trip. It was mid-April. First time ever being in the Keys, despite being a Florida native most of my life. But we had a great time, and just a few highlights. We flew out of Nashville, Tennessee, directly to Miami. We were visiting the Upper Keys, so this made the most sense and was the most affordable flying for us. So starting out on the trip, all excited and happy, and soon after lugging my fishing poles around an airport, you can see the change in some of our attitudes. I was still super excited about fishing. That little thing I made to carry my poles in worked out great. If you'd like to see how I did that sometime, if you'll comment below. We rented a Jeep through Turo. That's a kind of like Airbnb for rental vehicles. We used a guy to Miami. The link to his Jeeps are below. He was awesome. Worked out great. Perfect. We loved the Jeep. It was clean, ready to go. We had a great time using it and saved a lot of money over a traditional rental place. So highly recommend him and Turo in general for renting cars. This is our first kind of view of the water. We were blown away. We've lived in Florida a lot, but used to sandy beaches, and the water was just fantastic. It was different, but it was beautiful. We were just excited to be there. Traffic was not bad. Again, we're visiting sort of in their off season, but it was beautiful. We're just going over the bridge. No, when you're in the Keys, you basically can see water 99% of the time you're there.
Girls, look at that. Isn't that beautiful?
So our first stop was the Fish House for lunch. It was on Guys Dives and Diners recommendation. It was great. We loved this place. We actually ended up eating here twice. The fried crack conch is amazing. I had fried whole yellowtail snapper, which is beautiful. It's funky. It's old, outdated furniture, but the service is amazing. The food comes out quick, and the food was delicious. And as you can see, I was thrilled because I was quite hungry at this point. We are staying this trip at Atlantic Bay Resort. It was very affordable. They have a lot of different options. It is kind of an older place, but it's remodeled. It's nice. The staff's amazing. Everything's clean. The grounds are gorgeous. You don't get that much beachfront at a lot of the places you're staying. It's immediate water access. They have slips for boats. You can walk right out on the water. They have kayaks and paddle boards for you to use. It's just beautiful, 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 and affordable for the Keys, especially this time of year. I was thrilled, blown away, great value. Highly recommend it. Would stay here again. The only downside is they don't allow dogs. And just this area is mostly at this time of year older people, so we're the youngest people here. Didn't bother me. It was quiet, nice, no crazy nightlife. That's not what I was in the Keys for. I wanted to fish and want to have a good time with my wife. So I'm fishing like 2 minutes after we get here, and we'll talk about fishing more later. It's a little more to it than you think. Every night the sunsets are amazing from here off the dock. Most people go out and watch the sunset every single night. Blonde Giraffe Key Lime Pie Factory. This is a must. You can ride your bike from in at the resort. 2 seconds around the corner. It's fantastic. We ate here a lot. It's also worth going in their back courtyard and checking it out. It's just funky. It's fun. There's lots of tables outside dining. The weather we were there the whole time was beautiful, so there isn't a reason to not stop and eat whatever you're grabbing. My wife loved the chocolate covered key lime pie. It's almost like an ice cream bar in key lime pie form. Fantastic. I had traditional key lime pie and the mentioned chocolate covered key lime pie. They're both great. And again, it's so close and convenient to the resort that, you can't beat it. You're eating key lime pie in the Keys, looking over the water. We did fishing a lot off the dock, and again, I'll tell you more about that later, but it was just fun. Even that we could see fish, we didn't catch a lot, but it was a ton of fun. Just a great way to spend the evenings, because primarily we ate out for lunch and then kind of just snacked at night and hung out by the docks. They had lots. This is their boat slips that they allow you to rent. We basically had the place to ourselves at night. It's quiet, relaxing, just again, even at night, the place is beautiful. Next morning, we kind of hung out at the resort, pulled out some kayaks, paddled around. I tried to fish again. Kind of steep learning curve on that, but the water's beautiful. We had a lot of fun. Now, of course, they're free kayaks, not the greatest thing in the world, but price is right.
This is where we're kayaking at right now. So it's like unexpected that it's deep and then it's shallow and then it's deep and it's shallow. It's very grassy. And I was gonna get a paddle board, but all their paddle boards were waterlogged. So we're just kind of hanging out. We're way over there is the resort, past the really big boat that's kind of sticking out. And we're in this mangrove right in here, just kind of hanging out. So beware of the dog. I didn't know a dog lived in a mangrove, but I guess so.
So after we got done with the kayaks, still early morning, we kind of packed up and decided just to drive for a little bit. We drove and drove without a real plan of what we're going to do that day. I had left a couple of days of just, for whatever we found to do. Discovered a state park that I kind of wanted to check out, but we're open to anything. Um, during the time we visited, there's a lot of construction going on at the normal places you can stop and get out and fish or enjoy the water. So we ended up going a little farther than I had planned, but again, just driving is so beautiful, especially when you're driving in a Jeep. Always, if you're visiting anywhere in Florida, check out the state parks website. There are so many great state parks in Florida. I wouldn't visit anywhere without trying to plan one in, and so that's what I did. We actually visit two before the trip's over. The plan was three, but we'll talk about that more later. But so we're heading to Long Key State Park, which is the farthest we went in the Keys. It's about sort of the halfway point. But so Long Key State Park, it was a neat state park. It wasn't crowded. It was very cheap to get in. The guy at the gate was helpful, telling us where things were and stuff. But it's again, if the weather conditions would have been better, I can imagine the flats fishing here would be fantastic. But for our stay, we just visited real quick. Only stayed in a little over an hour and 30, something like that. But again, not crowded at all while we were there. Great little state park. The water's beautiful. Saw more sharks than you can shake a stick at. Little baby sharks, of course. Again, while we were there, the wind is blowing so hard. The fishing was just hard. You couldn't sight fish. You couldn't see very well, and it was just difficult. And I didn't have any bait or anything. I was just lure fishing. Um, I think I may have caught a baby barracuda because that was primarily what I caught a lot of the whole trip was baby barracuda. But yeah, it was fun. Again, we ate at Lazy Days afterwards. Highly recommended on YouTube. I would not eat here. The most expensive meal I had and the worst meal I had. It might have been what I ordered, but I wouldn't go back. After we got done with all that, we just kind of hung out at the resort, just chilled, hung out underneath the palm trees. That evening, I went fishing, and again, baby barracuda were on the menu. I taught water fish. It's fun. They're just kind of everywhere. Breakfast the next morning, coffee, waking up, the water's right there. Beautiful surroundings. We had a pretty big day planned. We were going to another state park, Indian Key Historic Park. You have to kayak into the state park. It is really, really neat. It is worth the trip. Check it out. There is a small fee that you can pay online, and you do have to get there by boat somehow. So Robbie's Marina, that's world famous. That's where you feed tarpon, and there's guides. They have everything going on there, but you can rent kayaks from them. They're the closest location, and it's all about the same rental per day, no matter where you get. So they had nice kayaks there. The equipment's good. We went right at opening. Had a little drive to get down there, but the guys there working the boats are real helpful and friendly. It was a great experience, and we're super excited. And that is once you make the 1 mile paddle, that's the view you get, and it is beautiful, gorgeous, totally worth the trip. I could see if the tides are wind or not right, it would not be fun, but This place is beautiful, and I did not get photos somehow or video, but inside is just used to be a settlement that legend has it some Indians attacked and destroyed, and so there's just a lot of historical things to look around besides the water. We snorkeled, scuba dived. The wind was kind of bad, so it made snorkeling difficult. And I fished, and again, it's just mangrove. There's little trails throughout this island. Just a beautiful place to visit. Ended up being quite an adventure. I'll let my wife tell you about that part where I did something boneheaded, and she wasn't happy about it. But great memory, right?
So, your daddy lost our keys and his phone and a bag. So after we paddled from way over yonder to there, we get to do it all over again to find his bag and phone. So that's twice. But guess what we found? Ta-da!
Yeah, that was almost a trip-ending little episode where I lost the keys to the rental van and Jeep. And, well, anyway, we were beat after that. We done that so many miles. We were exhausted. So, fortunately, we didn't get to feed the tarpon or do the other things. We headed back to the palm trees at the resort, and we spent the most afternoon just like that, relaxing. And so Lynette did get out and paddleboard. That's what I wanted her to do the whole time we're there, is get her in the Florida Keys on a paddleboard. She loves paddleboarding, and this was the memory I wanted, and we finally got to make it. So she had fun. She got out a little bit. Again, the rental boards weren't the greatest. So the next morning I got up really early to go fishing. Fish top water. It's just really shallow around the resort. The fishing wasn't fantastic, and I had no bait. Should have probably figured that part out, but I had fun. I was in the Keys and I was fishing, and I did catch fish. Then I did a little silliness. So today on Bonded Treasure Hunter, we're finding wrecked ships. Look at this. Here's the back of the stone back there. Bow this way. Is it? Is it? See? Shh. 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 Boat. So I found another one. Look at that. Just abandoned. Anchors gave way, ended up here, still sitting there. Yeah. So the last day we finally figured out a great breakfast place over easy. It is a chain, but it is fantastic. It's locally owned. The service was amazing. The food's amazing. I wish we'd found it earlier. We would have ate here a lot. We visited the Quinn Wild Bird Sanctuary next that morning. This is a great place. They just asked for a donation. They have lots of birds that they've recovered, and they're helping out, and it's great. It would be great with kids. And again, an hour tops is all that there is to see, but it is great, affordable family fun. We had a good time looking at all kinds of eagles, birds. So Belle's now we're in the Annoying Bird Sanctuary. These are all the birds that just make noise. There's seagulls and...
So the laughing gull is what you hear.
This scene was a joke. There's lots of fun stuff to do there. Just the seaboards were a little annoying, but the rest is amazing, including the end of the trail.
This is really pretty.
And this is the backyard.
This is a crocodile sanctuary.
We ate at a Pilot House restaurant. Now, the views and the boats loading and coming, unloading the fish was amazing. The actual food was okay. But they allow smoking at this time. You couldn't eat inside, and it was smoking on the bar, which is outside, but smoke was blowing in my face the whole time. Ruined the experience. Again, I ordered the whole yellowtail snapper again. It was not as good as the fish house. Again, the views are fantastic. The food is okay. I'm on the fence about this place. If they opened inside out again, maybe I'd go back. Again, the best part is the view. That's a ginormous tarpon swimming around. Provided me entertainment. Bull shark swam through, all kinds of stuff. We ended the day back at the resort, relaxing yet again. I mean, if you've got this right there, why would you go very many other places? Another great place to eat, this Italian place. They had pizza and stuff, but they also had pasta. Nice break from the seafood. Again, highly recommend it. Would go back here. Neat atmosphere too. And well, the fishing at night, we did it every single evening, and it took me till the last night to figure out. That is a wound that I won't talk about. Finally figured them out on last night. So there's snapper there. I could see them, couldn't catch them, and finally I got some fresh shrimp. Peeled the shrimp, and we had success. Last evening there, we caught, even Lynette caught, keeper snapper. I had a lot of fun. I could do that all day long. Um, Again, we're having one more sunset last night of the Keys. Next morning, we have to load up, clean the Jeep, and get it back to the owner. Flying out of Miami, beautiful. I could do that a lot. Had a great trip. Can't wait to get back to the Keys and do some more fishing and fun.